Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in the Rayo Vallecano career mode. This is episode number 5, and we start today's episode off with some player training and also seeing that Manusho sprained his ankle in training and will miss our next game against Real Betis. We also have a squad report to start today's episode off as well, as we've now entered October, so you can see how the players are currently getting on. Obviously, in our first season with our new side, as I did discuss this team briefly, there's quite a lot of aging players in this side, so it's not a real surprise to see right away in the squad report there are quite a few players that have their stats decreasing, which obviously isn't great to see, but of course we know that a lot of these players will not be staying throughout the entire series, so I'm not too concerned. But a couple of players have already started growing, which is good to see. Ivan Lopez and Ioza Perez, 2 of our 4 new signings, already begin to grow and go up in ratings, as has our goalkeeper Kepa. That's good to see as well. But again, there are some players that are still in his first 11, like Pablo Hernandez, Tras Horas, for example, decreasing in stats. I'm not too worried, but it's still a bit disappointing to see. But still, following the squad report, you can see the league table right here, and after 6 games even, we've got 8 points and sit in 11th place with 2 wins, 2 defeats, and 2 draws as well. So it's been a mixed start to our season with Rayo Vallecano, and as I did say, the first season for us isn't going to be about European qualification or challenging for La Liga title. It's not going to be about that at all. The first season is all about getting a feel for this squad, seeing what formation suits me best, what group of players I like to have on the pitch at all times, and that's exactly how the season started for us, really. Been experimenting with our lineups, bringing players off the bench, starting different players from game to game as well, seeing what players have been suiting our play style too, and I'm not too worried about the start whatsoever. We don't need to do anything really in our first season. So long as we finish in mid-table, we should be staying here, won't be getting the sack. So the start of the season, although not the best, hasn't been too worrying for me. But still, for the first game of today's episode here, we're at home and take on Real Betis, coming on the back of our 2-0 defeat to Sevilla in the last game, in the last episode. We had the first chance of this game as Bangura drilled in across towards Perez, but unfortunately he was denied by a good save by the goalkeeper, and it was still 0-0. A few minutes later, the away side tried to take the lead with Ruben Castro going for goal from range, but Kepa, our goalkeeper, made a really good save, denied the number 24, and turned his shot behind for a corner. A great save there by the young shot stopper, who did make a mistake, of course, in the last game against Sevilla for Llorente's goal, but I've been really impressed with him to start the season off. He's been looking very confident and very comfortable between the sticks. So still 0-0 in this game. Another chance for Real Betis here. This shot goes just wide the post and behind for a goal kick at half-time. As you can see, the score was 0-0. The away side had dominated possession and had 88% pass accuracy as well. Looked very comfortable in possession of the ball. But in the second half, he had a great chance to take the lead here with Tras Horas finding Pablo Hernandez. He rolled it through towards Bangura. He sprinted through one-on-one against the goalkeeper. But how about this from a miss from me here? I really should have found the back of the net, or at least hit the target. Instead, blazed the shot over the bar, and it was still goalless. Another chance for Real Betis in the 55th minute. This shot hitting the bar and going behind for a goal kick, and it was still 0-0. Now with 12 minutes to go, it was looking like the game was probably going to finish goalless, and we would return with a draw here after the defeat to Sevilla. With 11 minutes to go, they're whipping across to the centre. Molina gets on the end of it, beats Nacho in the air, and with the final chance of the game, Real Betis look as though they're going to go on and claim all 3 points and give us back-to-back defeats here in La Liga. So they sprint down the left-hand side here, cross the wing to the centre, but look at Amaya. What is he doing there? Nacho has to come across, he's our left-back, to try and mark up in the centre. Obviously he's not going to beat Molina in the air, and that's why the number 19 wins the header and puts it into the back of the net. But why our centre back just left his man there, I've got no idea. That was really frustrating, and in the end that header proved to be the game winner. So final score, Rayo Vallecano 0, Real Betis 1. The away side get the win. It's back-to-back defeats in La Liga, 3 games without a goal now as well. Pretty worrying, but again, despite the goal being quite frustrating to concede, the moment of the match was this really bad miss with me or Bangura. How I failed to hit the target there, I've got no idea, and I've got to blame myself for the loss in this game. We should have got at least a point, and that should have been a goal that would have put us in front. So a bad miss from me, a bad game in general really, and we do taste defeat once again. So again, back-to-back defeats, not great to see, but we just started the season, we just started the series. I'm not too worried. It is disappointing, we got a long way to figure this thing out, but still, following that, Mexico came in for me and offered me the job to manage their nation, and we decided to stall it. I doubt I'm going to take an international management job throughout this series because I'm not entirely sure it's worth doing unless it's a nation that really interests me. But either way, I've stored it for the time being, but it will most likely get rejected. And for the second game of today's episode here, we take on Barcelona in La Liga at the Camp Nou, or the Nou Camp, whichever you prefer, for the first time in this series. So with 3 games without a goal and back-to-back defeats, this is the side you would not want to face next in the league. So away against Barcelona for the second and final game of today's episode. The first couple of chances fell to Barcelona. The first one was a good strike, but well saved by Kepa. And in the 29th minute though, Luis Suarez gets on the ball here, takes it round his man, goes just outside the area and lets fly, and finds the back of the net as well, and gives the home side the lead in this game just before the half-an-hour mark. What a strike from Luis Suarez. He receives the ball here from Adriano and then dribbles out of the box. One of the Rayo Vallecano players comes towards him, but there was like 2 or 3 that were in close proximity to him, but he just angled the shot so well. It went through them all through all the bodies, and a fantastic strike. No chance for Kepa, and Barcelona do take the lead. In the 45th minute, they had a good chance here. Once again, Kepa made a great save though, and it was still 1-0. So as a break, we went into the half-time dressing room, down by a goal. Not too concerned by our display in the first half, because we'd had more possession than Barcelona, if you could believe that. 58% of it actually, compared to their 42%. They may have played better, but I wasn't too worried. I wasn't too disappointed with what I saw in the first half. But in the second half, they came out of the blocks flying. 5 minutes after the restart, Sergio Roberto's shot whistled just over the bar and behind for a goal kick. And 3 minutes later, another good chance for Barcelona. Unfortunately though, once again, I have to take the blame for just a really poor piece of defending here. I gave the ball away stupidly on Nacho, trying to pass out from the back. Eventually got played in towards Luis Suarez. His shot was well saved by Kepa, turning it onto the post initially, but it came straight back to him, and at the second attempt, simply couldn't miss. So I try to pass out the back all the time. I never like to just hoof it clear with the circle button, but there are some games and there are some moments where you simply have to. That was one of those right there. I got it wrong, gave the ball away, surrendered possession cheaply, and 10 minutes after the restart, Suarez gets his second goal of the game, and Barcelona's second as well. So 2-0 to the home side. We throw away a cheap goal there. We tried to respond 8 minutes later. This shot by Oza Perez going over the bar and behind for a goal kick, but the problem really was that I couldn't get inside in this game enough. Barcelona's defense was really organised. I couldn't break them down, and in the 72nd minute, well, how about that? Lionel Messi makes it 3 for Barcelona. What a wonder goal. And as the Argentine comes off the bench, he settles any kind of pressure that Barcelona could have been under in this game with a wonder goal that secures all 3 points. What a goal by Messi. And I've said before in my career modes, Messi is a player who never actually does that well against me. He tends to go missing in a lot of the games I play against Barcelona. Well, in this career mode, the first game we play against Barcelona, he says, Docs, I'm not going to go easy on you anymore. I'm going to start scoring these type of goals and not give you a chance. What a goal by Messi coming off the bench. A wonder goal. He makes it 3-0. And the points are in the bag for Barcelona. As you can see though, in the 79th minute, we got ourselves inside here finally for one of the first times in the game. Bangura knocked the ball on against Mascherano, who slid in stupidly, took down our number 19 and gives away a silly penalty. Barcelona were defending so well, but there was no need for Mascherano to go to ground in that situation. He does. Bangura beats into the ball, obviously, and then takes down our winger as well. So a penalty to Rayo Vallecano. So in a game with very little positives, we did have the chance to at least grab ourselves a consolation goal and make the scoreline look a little bit better. I decided to let Osbilis take it. I wanted to give it to Perez, but it had literally just been subbed off before we won, just after we won the penalty. So Osbilis would stand up and take it. He goes to the top corner and he finds it as well. Claudio Bravo rooted to the spot, and our winger gets ourselves a consolation goal. We knew it wasn't going to be a late fight back and a late rally for us. We simply weren't good enough tonight here against Barcelona. So 3-1, but at least the scoreline does look a little bit more favourable. And number 16 makes sure as well we don't have 4 games in a row where we failed to score. So it may be a penalty, but we'll take any positive in this game. So it's Barcelona 3, Rayo Vallecano 1. The home side were far better though, and even though we had more of the ball in this game, they were still the far superior side. And the problem I had is that whenever they had the ball, they were so patient on it. They rarely misplaced passes. They were so accurate at passing the ball around, moving it around between teammates. They just looked so in control in this game. And as Messi got on the ball here, he crossed it to the far post, found Rakitic, who made it 4-1 with a sensational volley, and that will secure the points and put the scoreline back up by 3 goals. So Barcelona 4, Rayo Vallecano 1. It's Rakitic getting on the score sheet to join Suarez and Messi, and unfortunately for us, once again we are going to lose, and this will be a 3-goal defeat here, the biggest defeat we've had in the series as we lose by 4 goals to 1. So for that goal, just go to show you really just how different we are between, well, I guess it just showed a gap in class really, I guess that's the best way of putting it. We just got completely hammered in this game, and it's a very disappointing defeat. It's a very, very bad defeat. I'll be my first to admit I played very poorly in this game, and we just didn't do enough. But the one thing I will say is this series is a project, this series is a challenge. It's going to take a while before we're as good as these sort of teams, especially when we're playing away from home. So we got battered in this game, we deserve to lose, there's no doubt about it whatsoever, but we weren't expecting to win. We weren't expecting to win or even during this game. We knew we'd probably lose, so I'm not too embarrassed by it. It is a bad defeat, don't get me wrong, but I'm not too embarrassed by it. We're only 8 games into the season, we're only 8 games into the series, there's an awful long way to go. This Rayo Vallecano side will get far better in time, but it's a project, it's a challenge, it's gonna take a while before we get really good, but I'm looking forward to the challenge regardless. These types of games won't happen all the time, but it does go to show you just how much work we have on our hands with Rayo Vallecano, and this first season could be a very, very tough challenge for us. But that will end today's episode of the Rayo Vallecano career mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then please leave a like. Likes, of course, much appreciated, and they really help the channel grow as well. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode in the Rayo Vallecano career mode very soon.